Hi guys, Johnny Good here for Real Home Studio. Today taking a look at how to get started for the absolute first time you ever open up Studio One, how to get a sound out of your DAW. Just before we dive straight in, I want to just remind you to please like, subscribe. If you've got something to say, please do drop it in the comments box below. Okay, so yeah, this video was inspired by a comment in a group on Facebook for Studio One Prime owners. The comment was just regarding sort of confusion for absolutely getting started. And I just wanted to really quickly, before we dive straight in, to share with you my background, which might surprise you that I didn't even start using DAWs till about 2010. So I put up quite a big resistance. I mean, I started home recording in the mid-90s. And back then it was a Tascam 4-track. I think I had a Fostex 4-track. Then moved on to mini disc recording, and then my first hard drive recorder was Fostex VF80, so an 8-track. And then moved on to the VF160. And by the point when I was in London using the VF160 for work, I was then mixing out then onto CDR audio. And it was just getting crazy. It was getting crazy expensive and just a really insane way to work. So I just couldn't resist it anymore. And I was mastering a lot using a DAW. I think I was using Sonar back then, and then eventually just bit the bullet and started to find my way around using a DAW. But I do remember, my point of saying that is I really remember how intimidating the screen was, and I could find my way okay around software like Photoshop and stuff. And really, if you're using like Photoshop or you're using video editing or music editing, they kind of all got a similar feel, but they can look really intimidating. I think it's because everything's just rammed into the screen all at once. If you had your console in front of you, if you had your editor working on the tape on the side there, and everything was more split up, and when you see all the hardware racks and big studios as well, it just, for the human eye, it's just easier to take in. Although that said, I mean, I remember being young and walking into recording studios and just seeing the desk and being like, what do you do with that? And also feeling really excited about it. So anyway, so my point being, you know, it's okay that it feels a bit intimidating, but actually once you get started and you realize the potential, there is no looking back. So let's just dive straight in. I've got Studio One Artist up here, so I don't think for doing this video today, I don't believe there's going to be any difference between this and Prime. So let's just dive straight in. We want to make a new song, so I'm going to click on Create New Song. I'm going to call my new song Song. Okay, and we've got some checkboxes here, some things which we can alter. I'm going to be recording at 44 kilohertz at 24-bit, and everything else here can really be altered afterwards, and it's not going to matter for this quick demo today either. So we can just click straight onto OK. And that's going to create our blank canvas, our new song, at the top here, entitled Song. So it's a totally blank canvas right now. Before we bring a track in, on the right hand side here, you've got a bin which is going to show you all your external effects. If you're in Prime, then it's going to bring up your Presonus effects here, your instrument effects, and also your plugin effects. So that'll be all your Presonus effects here as well. So that's going to be all of your, your compressors and your EQs and that kind of stuff. That's really all you need to concern yourself with a little bit later down the line. Not going to be looking at today. Just wanted to show you what that was all about, and you can click on the home there to bring you back home. But what we're going to be looking at is setting up a track and just making a sound. Now what I'm actually going to do now is just turn this webcam off so you can clearly see all corners of the screen, because there isn't a corner of the screen which the webcam won't cover up something which I want to show you clearly. So I'm just going to turn this webcam off. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is obviously bring a track up that we can record on. So we're going to press the T button for add track, and that's brought this add track window up. Mic, I'm going to be recording just off this mic which I'm using to do this recording today, and it's a mono source, so we're going to select mono. We're going to hit OK, and that's going to create our track here in the top left window. Okay, so it's track number 1. We've got 4 options along the top here. We've got M for mute, which will mute the playback. We've got S for solo, which will solo out the playback of this track only. That's when we're listening back to the track. We've also got a record button, which is cool, which means we can, as you can see, start recording on this track, but you can also see that we're getting a signal as well. And we've got a monitor button as well. Now you won't hear, I'm going to flick that straight off because that's creating a little bit of latency echo, which you won't hear because the mic's recording directly from my interface to record this video for you today. But if you do it on your own version of Studio One or your own DAW, then indeed you're most likely going to hear a little bit of echo from your latency. Now, of course, when you're tracking, you can, if we go to Studio One Preferences, you can improve your latency by having the lowest block size. So you can see if I bring my block size up, you can see my output latency goes quite high to 12 milliseconds. If I go down to 16 samples, then I can get it down to 2.6, but that's still going to be noticeable when I'm using playing my guitar or microphone. So I might want to improve my monitoring even more, and you can do that quite simply by bringing up your console, which is very easy to do on Faderport. You can do that on the view section here, bringing up your console, and clicking on this low latency monitoring Z just here. And by bringing that up, it's going to massively improve the speed of your monitoring. You can see it also then pops up on this track here too. That's a really, really cool thing in Studio One, really cool. So it means, you know, when you're tracking guitars going through a DAW, or if you want some effects when you're putting down a vocal, that's going to make that possible without any latency issues. Okay, so let's just click that back off. I'm going to turn the monitoring right off too for now. Now, if you didn't see an input coming up here on the right hand side, it means that you need to configure your interface to Studio One. So the first thing you're probably going to want to check, again in Studio One Preferences, is that your playback and recording device is your interface. So that's well worth checking as well. You can do that at the same time as you reduce your block size for tracking. I should say as well, when you're mixing later on, you want the opposite. You want your sample rates, your block size to be as high as possible. But for now, we're going to be tracking. We want to get that latency down as low as possible. So yeah, we've got my Scala AI6 here. Hopefully you'll see your interface there from a whole bunch of selections. That's what we want. We're going to hit OK. Now, if you're not seeing a level coming up here, you may well need to check out your I/O setup. It's just your interface communicating with Studio One. So you can see I've got these two inputs here. If I want to add another one, you can just click on Add Mono, and there's a third input there as well. It's just so Studio One knows where to look for that signal. Okay, so I've got my input one set up. Let's just drag this console fader up a little bit as well. The next thing is we want to be hitting around, the peaks around -12 is a really good place to start out. Just ensures that you're getting a nice strong signal, but also you've got plenty of headroom as well for, you know, the dynamics of your recording. So you can see my mic's already hitting about -12, set okay for this video. We've got input one set up. If I wanted to be hearing monitoring, say if I had an effect coming through onto this mic, then I would certainly click on my monitoring and make sure I've got low latency monitoring on. But for the sake of this video, I don't need any further monitoring. I've got no effects that I want to go through and don't need any further processing. So what I'm going to do is just going to hit the record button and start recording my voice, which is obviously the voice which I'm using to record this video with right now. Okay, I'm going to hit stop. Okay, so that is how to make a sound on Studio One if you're just starting out. I hope it came across and it really helped you out. If you've got questions, please do drop them in the comments box below. I will respond. I really like making these kind of videos for people starting out because we've all been there. So I really want you guys to get on and make music and have as minimal stress as possible as once you're finding your way around software and learning the ropes. My name's Johnny Good for Real Home Studio. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Most importantly, make sure you have yourself a great day.